Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Wii, which is something that has a lot of fans around the world. A console, 7th generation, the 5th if I remember this right, coming from Nintendo, and everybody knows what this means: high quality electronics, high quality graphics, high quality hardware in general. And here comes the question. Is it worth it, like in 2020s, for someone to go ahead and buy one? You can find those around um 90 bucks or less, even less, from eBay, but untested and as is, the usual thing. And I bought this one about a year ago, but it was lying around the lab for long, and I was trying to put together the peripherals that I need in order to make it work, and initially to check if this console works in the first place, because I didn't know. I just bought it from eBay as is. And now a year has passed, and I got everything that I need in order to power it up and start playing. Hopefully tonight we'll do it together, all the testing phase. Very reliable and quality device. Graphics by ATI, the circuit which we used to call Hollywood. Very nice, sleek design, if you ask me. Compact and reliable, very robust, with all the ports and everything that you need. Very good quality of plastics and all the materials used. It's backwards compatible with the Nintendo Cube. You can see here the sockets for using the Nintendo Cube pads and joysticks. Memory cards, slots for everything that you might need. There should be a white plastic cover right here, but it's gone. It was never there. Um, Now the optical device, this is something interesting, can read proprietary discs, like Wii discs and other GameCube discs, but cannot read other common optical media like DVD or audio or CDs or anything. And on top of that, the device of course can support Wi-Fi connection, BNG type, and it can support Bluetooth in order to communicate with its controllers. So let's get back now to the objective of this video as it was planned in the first place, and that is to summarize what is needed and how much will it cost in order to get the basics and start building your Nintendo Wii setup. The first things for me, and obviously needed, is to get the power adapter aftermarket from China, from eBay, with the appropriate socket, and the audio video cable. And then you can only then tell if the machine is working and it's worth investing more and getting more peripherals like the controllers, like the infrared receiver bar. You might want to get the Nunchuck controller. You need absolutely the infrared controller, and on top of that you need a game, or at least one game or two games to start with, to check if the machine can read the games and you can play without any problem. So this one, as I said, is a cheap Chinese, very light power supply. It's like very not heavy at all. It's like an empty box. The feeling is like it's an empty box, but okay, we'll see. The AV cable, again, do not expect to find any Nintendo logos on top of the cover, on the cable, or anywhere. It's just an imitation, but it hopefully it can work for us tonight, and it was cheap. And I'm going to present the cheapest parts that you can find in order to build your Wii setup. So both these are about 16-17 bucks for starters, and I'm going to fire up the machine now and finally check that it is working, and we'll go from there. Oh, and another tip or piece of advice, if you will, if you've managed to find a working unit with original parts as a whole set over eBay or anywhere for less than 70 bucks, go ahead and grab it, because that amount of money for the whole set with the original parts is a good deal, and it's coming roughly close to whatever we did picking up peripherals one by one in order to get roughly to the same amount of money. So sounds like a good deal if it's less than 70 bucks for the whole set. Alright, I have put the power jack in, and the first impression is looking good. We have a red light on, and I also placed the AV cable at the back of my TV, powering up now, and waiting for something, and we have a picture. And yes, it was worth waiting for all this time, and that was a great idea. Start with basics and go from there. And apparently we can see that we have a video out. At least this indicates that the circuitry and everything around the hardware part of the device is working fine, but we haven't tested any controllers or any games yet, and the ability to read discs. That is another thing that is coming as optional. I bought it from, not from eBay, but from a friend. It's the original classic pad for the Nintendo Wii. Again, this comes as optional. It goes straight at the back of the infrared extra controller. So you might skip this one in order to save some bucks. But absolutely what we need is the infrared bar, the receiver, and the infrared controller in order to for you, the user, the player, to communicate with the device. Again, this comes as optional. I bought it. I think it's worth it. It was 10 bucks. But of course, this is not the primary controller. The Wii Remote is the primary controller for the console, which contains 3-dimension accelerometer along with infrared detection sensors, and of course you need the other side, the receiver, this one here, which is actually again Chinese imitation, with 3 infrared LEDs on each side, and supposedly you can play away from the console for roughly 8 meters or something like that, and it goes right here. Special connection at the back of the console. You have to place this sensor, and horizontally, of course, because that's the way it could record your movement and follow your instructions somewhere in some convenient height, at the close to the TV, of course, on top of the TV, or somewhere that you can use along with this guy, which is the what we absolutely need, and it is the main controller, the infrared controller for the Wii. And here we can check at the back of the device, we can check the socket where we can place the classic controller, which is somewhere around here. Oh yeah, right here. And the Nunchuck, which is the other kind of controller. We will be checking this in a while, so they can work together, and you can play and control moves and your heroes from a distance. Okay, let's check the connectivity now, as we have placed fresh batteries inside the Wii Remote. We have to connect the device to the console. It can be identified. We have to press the red button at the front of the console as well, and the red button on the side of the at the back of the Wii Remote, and they can communicate and they can talk to each other. And of course, after a while, hopefully, we should have a connection. And so we have to turn it on first. And they can talk to each other, and then we can play. Hopefully, what was interesting is that actually the Wii has been introducing this kind of gaming back then. Don't forget that it's 2006 we're talking about, and this was revolutionary. And I cannot recall any other competitor at that point in time that was capable of doing such a revolutionary, to go over this revolutionary approach in gaming. And back then it was Xbox 360 back in 2006 and Sony PlayStation 3. But this was something totally different, and it makes sense why this console, after all, managed to sell over 100 million devices worldwide. And so it says press A to continue. I'm pressing A. Where's the bar? The bar is okay. I think now it's better to have it closer to me and fix the the way the signal can be received. So now it is much better. It works much better. But you might find your own for your own convenience the way to set it up close to the TV. And so we have the mouse-like movement with this little hand. Gives me some trouble in the beginning, but of course we have whatever we should have from a working unit. Even the date has been set right, and the time, because of the internal battery, of course it was kept, and probably because of the Wi-Fi connection. So we have everything that we need, and I'm happy. It looks more steady now. I think I got the hang of it. It's not the other way around. So I got the hang of it finally, and I can move around the menu more accurately. So let's check if we can play a game, and then later on I can go online and see what is going on, how the connection is looking and all that. But we proved that it was worth waiting for me all this time and collecting all the peripherals and the components for this device. The seller on eBay didn't mention anything about spare parts only, or spare parts or repair or anything. What it was stated was just sold as is. So I think that was a lucky shot, because it actually is a fine working unit, and on average what you can find this time around on eBay, including shipping, could go up to 100, 120, 130 or more US dollars. So okay, let's go now to load the game, the only one I got for testing purposes. Something tells me that in the future I'm gonna buy some more secondhand, of course. It's the Wii Play. I picked this one just because it has many games for kids, but many games to play around inside a single disc. So it's loaded. I can see the Wii Play right here. So the disc has been identified. More than happy now, because I had this I was suspicious about the condition of the optical drive after all, and I guess, yes, now I can say that we have a perfectly working fine unit to play with and to stay actually in my collection. But also because I managed to find all the peripherals and the parts that I needed to set up this console the right way, as imitations, cheap imitations from China, whatever, or second-hand parts but with reasonable prices. And so in total, what we have will go in a while over my little Excel sheet that I have created, and I can show you one by one again what was the cost for each and every component so far. I'm fooling around now with the console for a while, checking the accuracy of the Wii Remote, and it looks pretty good, except that the fact that I really suck on these games. Um, but anyways, bottom line is that it came to a budget, and that's the way I did it, and hopefully, and what I can strongly suggest is you go ahead and do it this way. Get the parts one by one, or whatever condition you might find, or cheap, brand new, but imitations from China. There are plenty of those over eBay, so you can take your pick, take whatever is needed to build basic configuration, or more accessories, more peripherals, sensor bars, the Wii Fit, which used to be the killer app for this console. And I must not forget the Nunchuck controller, which actually is bundled with the console when the console is new. The Nunchuck is a handheld unit, an analog stick with two trigger buttons, which connected to the port on the Wii Remote, like we've seen before, like right here, like the classic pad should be connected the same way with the same connector, and so does the Nunchuck, the same connection over here. Let me show you the Nunchuck I got from eBay with again a reasonable price tag. The old-fashioned games mostly are played using the classic controller, the pad, and you can see there is a trigger button here and everything at your fingertip, and the same connector to be used along with the Wii Remote right here. So you take your pick depending on whatever you want to play. If you want to have the full collection of accessories for this console, it's a matter of extra cost, but again, you can find good reasonable prices if you go one by one, like we did this over this experiment, and what I did over the last few months, as I've been waiting for several months for all these to arrive. And last but not least, the absolutely necessary infrared sensor bar, which holds three LEDs on the left side and three LEDs on the right side to track your movements, track your moves. Now we can see this, and it's very, very nice, taking advantage of the frequency that the camera works. Otherwise you cannot see this with the naked eye. So that was all. All the parts that you need are here, or even more. Probably you can start collecting basic parts and accessories only. Let's say the Wii Remote, the bar, the power supply, and the audio video cable for starters, and then you can go from there. But the major question is, do you like Wii? Would you like to have one and keep it in your collection, and keep it and from time to time share a few moments with friends playing around with it, or what? I'm looking forward to getting your comments down below in the comment section. You know the drill. And yeah, it's interesting how this game console is doing over time, and how it survived, because I believe it survived over time and still have out there quite some enthusiasts still playing with the killer apps like the Wii Fit and Wii Sports, and of course attracted by the motion controls. That's why the company managed to sell over 100 million devices worldwide, and I think this is better than the Xbox and the PlayStation 3. Another great feature was the Wii menu itself, where you can find the forecast channel, the news channel, continually updated weather and news reports, some tools, the photo channel to view and edit photos stored on SD card, the store channel where you could buy, what else, games, amazing stuff for 2006. And of course you can easily obtain the manual from several sources over the internet, so you can download it, print it, and keep it along with your device. You can find interesting information on things like how you can connect the Wii Remote and they can talk to one another with the rest of with the console itself and the rest of the equipment that needs to be connected on the back of the Wii Remote itself, and stuff like that, along with several technical information. So it's nice to have. Okay, moving now to the last part of this video, which is the actual little spreadsheet with costs. As you can see, basic configuration you can build with $60, and if you need some extras you can go up to not more than 80. I think this is a reasonable price for a setup like this, and since you want to have it, and at this point you can find roughly the same prices over the internet, this is a good deal. So thanks for watching, guys. Consider subscribing if you like this stuff, if you like old stuff, retro games, old systems. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you soon. Bye.